So I have been a YouTuber for, at the time of recording, about 8 to 9 to 10 years. I think it's closer to 9 than to 10, but I've been doing this for quite a while. And I have seen some stuff happen and go down behind the scenes and on the scenes. But I have also branched out to other platforms like Twitch in 2020, and I do have a Kick account, even though I barely stream on it. I think I've done 2 streams in total just because I don't really care about it too much. But as the title suggests, there's a few key differences between YouTube and Twitch, there's a few controversies between both platforms, and I'm here to give you some information and my solid opinion on which one is better. And maybe at the end of this, I can give you some advice if you're looking to start a channel of your own, or, I don't know, just become a streamer on and off as a side thing, either for monetary reasons or just for fun. So the thing I'm going to start with is YouTube. There are a few pros and cons to both platforms, obviously. YouTube allows you to upload basic videos and do streaming both, like, together in the same thing. And I know you're gonna laugh at me. I literally have a Reddit thing up, but I know a lot of these, like, just by heart anyway. So if you're listening to this thinking, well, this is pointless, if you're just gonna look up, you know, your answer to everything. Like, I know a lot about these in general. I just am really stupid and cannot remember all of them at once. So YouTube is weird because back in, like, honestly, from the point when it was created in 2005 to 2013, 14, you could, as long as you followed the TOS, you could basically upload whatever you wanted and nobody would get upset. You'd be able to have fun, and it was just about having fun. But this is also just about the snowflakes in the world being like, well, I have to be offended on behalf of this person. Like, I have to be offended because I hate my life. So now you can't do shit without somebody yelling at you or somebody trying to be offended on your behalf for literally anything. But in my opinion, when Susan Wojcicki took over, even so, rest in peace, but when Susan Wojcicki took over, it just went down the drain. It started becoming about constant ads, nothing but money, and it was stricter restrictions. Like, you could swear as much as you wanted and not have to worry about anything. You could still get monetized. But now, it's become a thing where it's fluctuated. Like, at first you couldn't swear in the first 30 seconds without censoring it or cutting it out. Then you couldn't swear in the first 15 seconds. Then it was like a whole minute for a little while. Then it was back to 30 seconds, and now it's pretty much anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds. And there's a lot of words you straight up just cannot say on YouTube anymore. I mean, I understand some of it, like slurs and all that, but there are just some normal curse words that you pretty much cannot say on YouTube without censoring it, unless you want to get demonetized. And there are some examples of big YouTubers, like Vanos Gaming, for example. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but there have been multiple instances where he's had to pretty much censor anything that wasn't the word ass or shit. He pretty much had to censor because YouTube would literally demonetize him or age restrict his video, which pretty much means you can't get paid for it if he did that. And there are certain violence things that you can't show, even if it's just in games or in movies. If you see violence and blood, you have to censor it or keep it to a minimalistic level, otherwise you're going to get demonetized. If you're a smaller creator like myself, it really doesn't matter too much because you're not getting paid anyway. But there's still a chance that they could see it and either age restrict it or take it down. So in that sense, I feel like YouTube is more stupid with that. But then you go over to Twitch, where Twitch is strictly streaming. There's VODs, yes, but those are just recaps of live streams. Making fresh content on Twitch, you only stream, and then you can choose whether you want to highlight the VOD or whatever. But I think it used to be where after 30 days, your VOD, like from the last stream, would get auto-deleted to save space. Now it's like 60 days. Or hell, sometimes it's more than 60 days. I swear at the time of recording, I have VODs from like 3 months ago that are still up, but you can also make highlights that will last forever until you delete them. But Twitch is kind of strict as well, but it's iffy. It's iffiness on the strict aspect because there are some streamers, female streamers who literally are like extremely close to basically being naked on stream, and because they make Twitch so much money, they allow it. Like, they literally made a whole category for like bath and hot tub streams, and the women on there are literally wearing so little that if they're wearing any less, it's literally pornographic content. And it's just so stupid, because if anybody sensible was running Twitch, they would say you can't do that, but because they make so much money for Twitch, they allow it. And they allow a lot of stuff because they're making money. For example, Pokimane, she's been at the center of a decent few controversies, but they're not going to do anything about it. She makes them too much money. Same with people like XQC. They make Twitch way too much money to the point where they're not going to do anything about it, because they're losing a massive chunk of their revenue if they, you know, are sensible about something. And it's not as bad, but it's kind of the same for YouTube, where a lot of bigger streamers or YouTubers will either get rained down upon with the monetizations for the smallest shit, or they will get protected by YouTube because they make them too much money. Granted, again, I don't like Susan Wojcicki, but still, rest in peace. I'm going to be respectful. Since she has passed, I think it started to lighten up a little bit more, but when she was in the peak of her power in like 2016-17, my god, you could not do anything without getting a yellow dollar symbol slapped on your video. And I know I'm talking about a lot of negatives because they stand out more, but I personally do like YouTube better. And it also, I guess, comes down to the people as well, because no matter where you go on social media, there's going to be people who are nice and want to see you thrive, and there's going to be the other side of the coin where there's just borderline demonic people whose only purpose is to wear you down and absolutely just destroy your mental health. Like, I've talked about this before, but the very first video I ever, or not very first video, the very first consistent commenter I ever had on my YouTube channel was a hater. Like, every single video of mine that I would upload, he would specifically go out of his way to say, like, you suck, your video's ass, I hope you kill yourself. Like, literally, his name was Meowstache. I literally remember his name. Like, every single video, I mean, yeah, my videos back then were terrible, but like, he'd literally go out of his way just to wear and tear me down. And there are people like that out there. And everyone starts differently. So you could, like, be making or starting your channel and be like, you can even be doing it for the money. You could be just doing it because you want to. And you unfortunately get these people who are just trying to push all these new creators down because they don't want to see them thrive, and they just want to see the old creators that are already thriving exist literally forever and, you know, pretty much be eternal. And I could say a million things about that, but I don't know. But there is one thing I'm going to talk about really quickly, and that's the infamous YouTube algorithm. If you are going to create a channel, let's just say, at the time of me recording this, it's April 30th, 2025. Let's just say you want to start a channel. You've been thinking about it for a while, and you finally decided, you know what, I have some free time on my hands, I have a computer, or I have a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever you have. I want to start a channel. I want to make videos on either games or just talking about politics or various other things in the world today. I want to make a channel. So let's just say, let's pick a game. Warzone. You download Warzone, you start recording, and you upload your first video to YouTube Studio. Well, after you do the verification, because if I recall correctly, if you're a new YouTuber, if you want to upload certain videos or certain lengths or whatever, you have to verify an email or something. But anyway, with that out of the way, you're so proud. You're like, yes, I finally am a YouTuber. I'm starting, obviously, but I'm finally doing something I've been wanting to do. And you know the video's not going to be as high quality as like some of these other massive YouTubers with millions of subs, but you're happy. You think it turned out good. The second that video goes public, you are now at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. There are ways to better your situation, but at the end of the day, you're either set or fucked. It entirely depends on what the YouTube algorithm does and decides to do. I have had multiple videos that have been extremely well made, in my opinion, are on new topics that are trending right now and are, you know, they have a really catchy thumbnail, they're made well, they're not too long or too short, and like I said, they're on trending topics. They're perfect. They get 3 views total, and maybe like 1 like. And I've had videos that are literally made as jokes and are not even meant to like be anything more than just a quick watch and laugh, get hundreds of views. You are pretty much completely at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. And it sucks because it can turn a really good YouTuber into just a faint memory of what he could have been. And on the other side, he can turn an absolutely evil human being into the next EDP or something along the lines like that. And we, to this day, are still somewhat trying to figure out how the YouTube algorithm truly works. And as I said before, there are multiple ways that you can either somewhat control it or at least have a little bit more control over the situation. Like if a brand new AAA game comes out, at the time of me recording this, Doom the Dark Ages is literally going to come out in like 2.5 weeks. If you make videos on that, yes, you are slightly more likely to grab people's attention, but at the end of the day, it's really about if YouTube pushes your content or not. You can do everything you can, and at the end of the day, it is still completely up to the YouTube gods on whether or not they want to push your content. And it sucks because I've literally heard big YouTubers talk about how videos that they put so much work into, YouTube just doesn't push for some reason. Even if they get liked to hell and viewed to hell, YouTube just won't push them. And it feels random. It feels like YouTube just takes a video and flips a coin, and if it lands on heads, it's going to get pushed. If it doesn't land on heads, it's going to get buried. And I don't know how Twitch works with that, but I think Twitch works in categories, whereas it'll recommend popular categories like just chatting streams, bikini streams, pool streams, streams on Fortnite, GTA, whatever. And it'll push the more viewed ones to the top. And if a bigger streamer is streaming it, it's going to recommend it to that person. And it also kind of has its own algorithm where if you open Twitch, it says live channels you might like. And then it bases it off that, which is what the YouTube algorithm does. Like if you're watching, I don't know, you guys can't hear it, but on my TV I have a Markiplier video playing. If you create a new YouTube account and you click on a Markiplier video and you watch it for, say, 10 minutes, when you go to your home feed, there's going to be more Markiplier because it thinks you liked that. Same with Twitch. If you like Pokimane and you're a simp and you watch a long Pokimane stream, the next time you log into Twitch, it's either going to recommend you Pokimane clips, or the next time she's live, it's going to, recommend it to your feed. I would say Twitch's algorithm is a little more fair for many reasons that I've just stated, whereas YouTube's algorithm isn't broken. When it comes to recommending content, it works just fine. I'm just clarifying that for the uploading and streaming aspect, like for a creator, it's so random. And you can, like I said, you can do everything right, and it just depends on whether the algorithm likes you or not. Like, for the record, my friends Ramchu and Willrose, Willrose has been around for a while, but both in the span of like a couple years, they've not only equaled / surpassed my subs, but they're getting thousands of views. And I've been doing YouTube for pretty much 9 years almost. And I'm barely getting any views on anything. And it's just so random. And I know I'm sounding jealous. It's just, I'm not trying to, but I don't know. It's just so strange. And before I talk about how, if you should start a new channel, and if you do, what tips there are, I'm going to read some people's other issues. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Twitch for the longest time had a really big problem with you streaming to multiple platforms at once. They don't have an issue with it now. Like nowadays, they're fine with it. But there still is, but there was a platform online called Restream.io, where it was like Streamlabs or OBS, but you could stream to multiple platforms at once. You could do like YouTube, Twitch, Mixer when it was still around, Twitter, all at once. And they would all see the same thing. But Twitch hated that. And if you tried to become a member of like the affiliate program or the partner program while you were streaming to multiple channels, they would decline you. They hated that shit with a burning passion. And I cannot tell you why. Nowadays it's fine, but back then, dear lord. If they caught you attempting to stream on multiple channels at once, your chances were screwed. And I don't know. And a lot of people are also saying that YouTube has better discoverability for small channels, better ad revenue, and better long-term VOD views. But Twitch has a donation subscription culture that makes going full-time much easier, and it rewards successful streamers with much better visibility. Twitch is better for if you're planning to be a professional streamer, and YouTube will be better streaming as like a hobby. But for me, this is the part that you're probably waiting for. Do I think that you should create a channel? If you're listening to this right now and you've been thinking about creating a channel, do I think you should? Of course. But there are a few things to be wary of, and there are a few things you can do to not really bait the algorithm, but increase your chances. The current generation we live in are a bunch of narrow-minded, pretty much ADHD snowflakes. They can't keep their attention on anything for more than a few seconds without getting bored, and they're offended at everything. So, YouTube Shorts will be a huge help. I have gotten a lot of subscribers and a lot of views from doing YouTube Shorts, because this generation is busy scrolling through TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever, and if they aren't hooked in the first like 5 to 7 seconds, they're gonna scroll away. Which is why you see so many TikTok clips where it's like a Family Guy cutaway, but they have Subway Surfers on the bottom, because they need something to keep their tiny, minuscule brains attracted for long enough to get the joke. Some people do like long-term content, but a lot of people nowadays, if they're not hooked in the first like minute of your full-length video, they're gone. My watch percentage is like 10% of the way through the video, not even. Like, I will literally, as we speak, I will pull up my analytics and I will tell you exactly how far on average people watch into my videos. Like, I don't even remember, but I know for a fact it is like staggeringly low. Also, apparently, yeah, see, this proves it. 41% of people find my channel from the Shorts feed. This is just proving my point. But 100% of my viewers are male, damn. It's awkward, I literally can't even find it. But yeah, point being is that if you don't hook them right away, they're most likely not going to stick around. Another thing I would be wary of, there's a chance that you might get extremely lucky and absolutely just burst onto the scene. I am not denying that's a possibility, but something I'm going to tell you is that you are very likely going to spend a long time struggling to get views and struggling to get people who stick around. And the sooner you fully accept that and adapt to that, the more fun your experience is going to be, and the more honest and easy your experience is going to be. Because, granted, no YouTuber likes uploading videos and then gaining no views. Like, nobody likes that. But when you're just starting out, you're not going to get 1 million subscribers in 2 days. Like, that's not going to happen. But the sooner that you realize, okay, it's going to be humble beginnings, and I need to realize that until I have been doing this for a little while, and until people do discover me, it's going to be slow and probably monotonous, your experience is going to be so much easier. And another thing, this is my last tip for anyone wanting to start a channel. Promotion, promotion, promotion. The more platforms and the more people you continually push your content out to, even if you upload a video on YouTube and you don't do any promotion, you'll get a few views maybe. But if you upload a video, you promote it on YouTube, you promote it on Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms. Even if your click-through rate is only like 10%, that click-through rate is still going to increase your video's views because you're promoting it on such a high level that you'd think eventually somebody's going to watch it. And usually they always do. So promote your content as much as possible. Push your content as much as possible, because the YouTube algorithm 9 times out of 10 is not going to do you any favors. You are literally going to be left on your own a lot of the time to promote a lot of shit. And a lot of people nowadays are making Discord servers. I literally have one. I'm not here to plug it. I'm just saying a lot of people are making Discord servers to increase interaction and increase the amount of people who will come, see your content, and actually stick around to the end. There are probably a lot more points I could be making here, but the general gist is that they each have their own controversies. I think YouTube is overall better, especially nowadays. I could sit here and talk about the fact that Twitch takes a shit ton of your ad revenue if you're a smaller streamer, but maybe I'll make a sequel one day. But I think YouTube's better, and if you're thinking about starting a channel, go for it, kid. You'll probably do better than I do. Just saying.